Matthew, what if Rafeal Devers gets hot? Like Rafeal Devers hot. You know, like the guy we were supposed to trade for and get in that trade. What if he gets hot? Is that enough?
Okay, hear me out on this one. What if Rafeal Devers gets hot?
Yeah.
But also Matt Chapman and Willie Adames get hot. All at the same time. Just think what that would do for the Giants offense.
Why do you do this to yourself? Like, is this like a sickness? Like, why would you even think about that? Because you know what's going to happen is you're going to think about that, and then you're going to expect it, and then you're going to be disappointed when it doesn't happen. Meanwhile, I'm going to be like, hey, we just scraped into the playoffs because Rafeal got hot.
Are you drunk?
Yeah, agreed, Bob. Agreed, Bob. I think the optimism is getting to Matthew.
Oh, but it would be great. It would be great.
Yeah, it would be great. It would also be great if Willie Mays and Willie McCovey came back and just, you know, in their primes, just showed up. And Barry, why not? You know? And then we would have Devers and Adames and Chapman, and they would all be hot. That's as likely to happen, Matthew. Anyway, Bob, music.
The Giants are rolling. The vibes are flowing. It's time for Giant Cocktails. Here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Welcome to episode 312 of Giant Cocktails. Ben, Barry Bonds hit 312 over his 15 seasons with the San Francisco Giants.
That's pretty good, Matthew. That's pretty good. But I do have a question. I thought you said a couple weeks ago that he was like in episode 298 and 299. It was Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds back to back, and Barry hit 1 point better than Jeff.
I think that was including his Pirates days.
Oh, so those were lifetime averages.
Must have been. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
I go through and do all these numbers.
Right.
But, you know, he hit, this is true, though. He hit 312.
Right, because either way, so he either hit 312 for the Giants or he hit 299 for the Giants, is what you're saying. Or you're confident that he hit 312.
Am I confident? Not entirely.
Don't be confident. He hit 312 for the San Francisco Giants. That's what I'm saying. And that's pretty
hit
good.
312 for the San Francisco Giants. According to Baseball Reference, he hit 312.
All right. Well, then, good. All right. That's pretty good. That's way better than the rest of the fools that we got on this team right now. I mean, okay, that's way better than a lot of dudes. That was mean.
I mean, he's one of the best hitters of all time. But
yeah, that's what I realized. I realized that as it was coming out of my mouth.
Okay.
I realized that. But it's funny, Matthew, when most of the baseball games that you attended as a human being had Barry Bonds in them, and that is true for me, you get a little, your expectations get a little shifted. And that's why I'm so bitter about this team all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw the pinnacle of success.
That's right. I saw
as your norm.
That's right. I saw how easy this game could be for some human beings. And so now it's just like, I don't know how hard it is to not swing at a ball that isn't in the strike zone. Like, Barry did it all the time.
He did.
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
Yes, let's talk cocktails.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm bringing back one that I did actually almost a year ago to the day, called The Last Word. And it's a classic cocktail, but the reason that I'm bringing it back up is because in The Last Word, there is green chartreuse is a key ingredient to that cocktail. And it's expensive and hard to source. But I found a substitute that I think that gives it that last word chartreuse flavor. And so that's what I'm drinking, Bob. I'll tell you all about it at the end of the episode.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you. Today, Bob, I am drinking a cocktail called Yeah, that's what it's called. It's called the Meow. 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 Knock, knock, knock. And if you want to find out what's in the Meow, 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 knock, 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 the recipe will be at the end of the episode.
Ben, today is Wednesday, July 23rd, as we record this podcast. The Giants went 2-1 against the Atlanta Braves.
What?
They won a series. They won a series. Weren't you paying attention?
I was paying attention. I stopped watching after Friday night.
Yeah, well, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that, and we'll definitely talk about that later. But they did manage to win a couple, including Sunday, when a certain pitcher won his first game as a Giant.
Wow, so it must have been a guy who recently joined the team. It was the Gage guy. The Gage guy got the win?
We'll talk about that as well later in the show.
It wasn't the Gage guy.
It wasn't the Gage guy, but we did go 2-1, which I'm considering a small miracle and something that we really needed to have happen at the very least. So that brings us to third in the National League West, 1.5 games behind the Padres, and I don't know, a lot of games behind the Dodgers. Anyway, they are also fourth in the wild card standings, 1.5 games out of the final wild card spot, with the Padres, Phillies, and Cubs ahead of them. And so, I don't know. I'm feeling a little optimistic about things right now.
Of course you are. Yeah. No, I mean, we learned that at the top of the show. Of course you're feeling optimistic. By the way, they're only 6 games behind the Dodgers. That hasn't changed. It's because the Dodgers, the Dodgers, I guess, won a series too. So that's how they maintained 6 games out. They're still within spitting distance of those losers. The Dodgers are they're okay-ish. They're good-ish. But they're not world beaters. They're not the juggernaut that everybody thought they were going to be. And yeah, I know, blah, 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 hurt pitchers. But anyway, there's reason to believe, Matthew. There's reason to believe you're only 1.5 games out of the last wild card spot. And
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree. Matthew, I'm trying to convince myself, okay?
Oh,
come on.
okay.
I'm just like...
How you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Let me put it this way. I actually watched the 2 games on Saturday and Sunday. I was a little fib. It was a little hyperbole.
Yeah, well, for a dramatic effect.
Exactly. And so the fact that I'm watching every game tells you that I still believe. I still believe in this team. I still find them entertaining. And that's even after Friday night and what happened the following day that made me sad. So, yeah, I agree. I think, they scored 18 runs in 2 games, Matthew. We saw the 2 best offensive outputs, I think, in a 2-day span for them in a long time.
Yeah. Well, actually, I got a tidbit for you on that.
Okay.
So hold that thought.
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
Well, let's do the tidbits then.
Well, okay. But first, let's talk about what we're going to talk about.
Oh, right.
So we are going to talk about the Braves series, and it's a good thing that you watched the last 2 games so that we can actually discuss it. And then, believe it or not, the trade deadline is approaching. We are a week away from the trade deadline. By 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on July 31st is the deadline, to be exact. And so I thought we could have a little discussion about that, because I'm curious, Ben, whether the Giants are buyers or sellers at this point.
Oh, at this point. Yeah, well, because I was going to say they're clearly buyers by the trade deadline, and they bought the best car on the lot.
Sure, but they still got a week left, and they bought that car. And then they had to take it into the mechanics to get it fixed for a little while. And only recently has it started to run well. And the question is, was that enough?
Okay, so we're going to talk about that later.
Later.
Okay.
Yes, but in the meantime, you talked about the Giants scoring some runs. I did look it up. The Giants over their last 5 games, Ben, have averaged 6.4 runs per game. And then I thought to myself, that's never happened in the entire season.
It's never happened in the history of the San Francisco Giants.
So I went back, and actually you'd be amazed at how many times it happened, especially in April and then early May. It happened like 3 or 4 times in the span where they actually averaged at least that many runs. But it hasn't happened since mid-May. I know, exactly. The Giants have not averaged this many runs over 5 games since mid-May.
Ooh.
So it did feel, if you were feeling like, wow, 18 runs, this is amazing, you would be correct that is a pretty amazing stat.
That feels about right. I think if they hadn't been so bad, I might not have noticed it as much, right? But they dropped off a cliff, and now they're they dropped off a cliff, and now they're resurging because one of their guys is getting hot. The best one.
The other question that I had for you.
Okay.
Is that during the broadcast, they had to go and mention that Tyler Rogers is a free agent at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's true. He is.
They also put up some silly number stats on him. Like somebody shouldn't have those kind of stats, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
He's got a whip under 1. And now I'm thinking like he got jobbed for the All-Star game.
No, he totally did. For that Mizrowski guy? That's a joke. That's a joke. I mean, the guy did throw pretty hard, pretty fast, but I don't know. 5 games?
Yeah. They also the best ability is availability, as they say.
Right.
And since 2021, let's go back to 2020. 2020, even though it was a strike shortened season, he led the majors in appearances that year. Then he did it again in 21. He did it again in 2024, and he's leading the league in majors now, in appearances now. In 2025, he went, since 2021, he has 80 appearances, 68, 77, and he leads the majors with 49 appearances this year. With a 252 ERA plus this year. His career ERA plus is 147, meaning he's 47% better than league average for his career. Is there a bigger free agent signing that the Giants need to prioritize than Tyler Rogers?
Like re-signing or like Guy or just anybody?
Yeah, well, I mean, last year was Matt Chapman. Okay, they got it done before the season ended. Like they extended him. They didn't even let him get to the market. Do you let Tyler Rogers get to the market?
Well, yes.
No. The answer is no, Ben. You do not let Tyler Rogers get to the open market. And this is coming from me. For longtime listeners,
you were not a believer.
You might remember that I wasn't always a Tyler Rogers stan, but I am clearly on board now. And you cannot let him go. Like, how would you fill all those appearances? You need like 2 or 3 other pitchers.
Matthew, I'm a pragmatist. And here's the thing. Nobody else believes. Nobody else believes.
So you don't think there's going to be a market for this guy?
No, they're going to come. He's going to have to come crawling back to the Giants, and they're going to lowball him, and they're going to save a buck.
That would have been the Farhan way.
Yeah, that would have been the Farhan way. That would have been the Farhan way. I don't know. So part of this is that Tyler Rogers has to agree, and also just the Giants don't extend a lot of people, and it was Matt Chapman who made the extension happen. I don't know, actually, quite honestly. Because maybe Buster had more to do with that.
Remember, Buster jumped in.
Well, he did, but
close the deal, and
did he? And I think he went and talked to Chapman, which he cannot do now. He can't go talk to the players now because of the role he's in. But I think that is something like he can definitely reach out to their agents and start having those conversations. But then on the flip side of that is that what Tyler Rogers wants to do, or does Tyler Rogers want to dip his toe into the free agent waters? This is a long time coming for him. And I think he's got to believe in his delivery and all of that sort of stuff to believe that he can go out there and keep proving it year after year. So So I don't know. He's got to want to do it. And so, should they prioritize him? I think he is absolutely a lockdown guy in the middle of your back end of your of your bullpen. So any team should want him. So yeah, I do think he's a priority. I think they absolutely should. And the nice thing is, like, whatever amount of money they give him is not going to be like, it might be a lot for a reliever. I don't think it will be, though. I just don't think the market's going to be there for him. I just think it's going to get normal reliever money. But even if they do overpay, it's going to get overpaid for a reliever. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yes, I think they should prioritize it. I don't think it's going to happen before the end of the season. And I definitely think that Farhan would have non-tendered him or played chicken with him until opening day.
Well, yes, that's probably true. All right. Well, thank you for indulging me in that exercise. Let's get to the Braves series. You said you stopped watching facetiously after Monday's game.
Correct. Monday's game, not Friday.
And I don't blame you, because that might possibly be the worst game all year.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I know there are some contenders. But first of all, our man, can we do one last Kakaw?
Wait, okay, hang on. There's something we got to do. Okay. Like, we talked about this a while. We talked about it when it happened, and there's just something that I feel bad.
You're right. We got to talk about this, huh? Or at least mention it. Okay, you go ahead.
Mr. and Mrs. Birdsong, I warned you about this early on when you started following us on social media, and Matthew and I conjectured as to whether you're listening to the show. And probably no. But I told you then there were going to be times where I would say things about your son that were going to make you angry. And I'm not saying that's going to happen now, but I am saying maybe you should turn off the podcast and listen to like smooth jazz or something. Anything. It could be anything. Giants talk. No, don't listen to Giants talk. They're going to talk about him too. Maybe some non-Giants related material. Smooth jazz. Let's just stick with the smooth jazz.
Smooth jazz would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it's calming in confusing and disappointing times. It really does go a long way. So I just wanted to put that out there, Matthew.
Okay. Well, thank you for So maybe just turn it off, Mrs. or Mr. and Mrs. Birdsong. We're about to talk about your son.
Yeah. Okay. Now that's out of the way, Matthew. Kakaw.
Yeah, maybe we can make a trip to Sacramento.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe we can make a trip to Sacramento.
We could make a trip to Sacramento and start yelling out Kakaws, but I don't think it's going to feel cheap, and it's not going to feel the same, Matthew. I don't think he wants to get Kakawed in the Vagabonds home stadium. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
and
I mean, obviously, folks, Birdsong didn't record an out on Monday.
No, he didn't.
And possibly one of the worst opening starts by a Giant starting pitcher in history. I didn't look that up, but I did see on one of the publications that the last pitcher to face 6 batters, record no outs, and issue 4 walks was Nolan Ryan in 1993, and what happened to be his final career start. Because when you're that bad, you don't get another option when you're like 45 years old or whatever he was at the time.
He was 56.
He was old. Yeah, I'm 45 is probably too young on that one. Yes. And if you do that at 24 or whatever Birdsong is, 23, you get sent to AAA.
You texted that to me pretty much immediately. Like, I bet he gets optioned. And I think I replied just something along the lines of like, ugh. I think I agreed, but what I felt was like, I don't want to talk about it. But here's the thing, like, this is the lack of control, it has been an issue for him, I think, his whole career. But I think the thing that really concerned me was when he was, that comment he made a few weeks ago about one of those starts where, he's cruising. He's cruising, right? And Landon Roop did this a little bit too, but never quite as bad. And then suddenly they just couldn't throw strikes anymore, you know? And this wasn't like a third time through the lineup and you're getting tired. This was just like lost the strike zone. And he made this quote that was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm out there and it's like I'm stuck in a force field and I can't, and I don't know what he said exactly. I can't change it. I can't hear anybody. I don't know what's going on. And that was definitely what was happening to him on Monday night, right? Like, there was no...
The force field was in full effect, for sure.
Yeah, the force field was in full effect. And the thing is, the force field is not a mechanics issue. Right? The force field is a psychological issue. The fact that you can't hear people and you don't know what's going on and you feel like you're cut off from the rest of the world, that's not because your hearing's going, right? That's your brain like shutting down on you, and it's a problem. It's a problem, and certainly you can't have that. You know, it's sort of like a case of the yips. You know,
Yeah.
It's pitcher yips. I mean, it's not quite.
Well, that's why he got sent to AAA, so he could figure out the force field thing.
Yes, and I am very confident he will. He said unconfidently, but I mean, you know, these things happen. These things happen. This is normal. This is normal.
Well, a young pitcher, it is normal. I remember Bumgarner getting lit up, you know, having a really awful start in his rookie season. So I just, you know, those things happen, and hopefully he can figure it out and come back and help the team. But boy,
yeah, well,
if
a lot more guys, Matthew, have that happen to them. They go down to the minor leagues and they never come back. So I just wanted to be Debbie Downer for a moment, and that's why Mr. and Mrs. Birdsong, you should have stopped listening. I warned you.
He'll be back. He'll be back, Mr. and Mrs. Birdsong.
Probably.
All right, but the problem with that game one was that he wasn't even the worst part of it.
Well, I think he. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Arguably,
make that argument.
You could argue.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it seemed like a team that didn't want to be there, and you had guys. You had Lee nonchalantly throw the ball back in, allowing Acuna Jr. to score from first base on a single. You had Ramos had an errant throw to second base, like he just lobbed it and it went over and allowed a guy to advance to third. Jung-Hoo Lee and Ramos miscommunicate and Jung-Hoo drops the ball in center field. It just time after time in that game, it just seemed like nobody wanted to be there. The offense sucked. It was painful to watch. And by the end, I had forgotten that Hayden Birdsong had started so poorly.
Yeah, I didn't, but I mean, you're right. And I think part of the problem is that this was they checked out, right? Because they're like, we're down by 5. We're not going to win this game. You know, and that's...
But where does the blame lie on that kind of mentality? Isn't that like a Bob Melvin kind of thing?
Well, I mean, I guess. Like...
And he did say, yeah, we talked about it after the games. I wonder what that means. What did Bob Melvin say to the team after Monday's game? Because it better been a freaking like undressing.
Well,
right?
I mean, I don't know. Whatever it takes to motivate each individual player is what you got to give to them. But yeah, it should have been addressing down. It absolutely should have been. Because like, you know, like, is that a Bob Melvin problem? I don't know, Matthew. Is it? Is there a manager out there that's good enough to keep guys like you suck at hitting the baseball in a game where that is what you're supposed to do? Like, you suck at it. And collectively, your teammates cannot be trusted to drive runners in. Like, they just suck at that. And that's what you experience day in and day out for 2.5 months. The manager is supposed to be like giving them some sort of like... some sort of favor that makes them feel like, oh, that's okay? Like, who can do that? Who can tell these guys who are hitting like that no, everything's fine? You can come back from a 5-0 deficit. Nobody can sing that song.
Well, and the hitting is one thing, because hitting a baseball is hard. I get it. And they've been struggling all year. But when you have those defensive lapses, you have just things that it doesn't look like they're playing hard. Yeah. And that's the part that really frustrates me.
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But I'm putting the blame on the people that I think really are to blame. The players.
Okay.
Like, I don't think this is Bob Melvin's fault. I don't think them not throwing the ball in when they're not getting hits because their rookie pitcher gave up 5 runs and they feel like it's impossible to win the game. I don't think that's Bob Melvin's fault. I think that's their fault. Try not to suck so much. Damn.
Okay. I get it. And I think whatever Bob Melvin sent to him after Monday night's game worked because they came out in game 2 and arguably had their best game of the year. So they went from one of the worst games to at least one of the best games that we've seen all year. You had a 9-0 shutout. And can I just say something?
Yes. Oh no. God. Wow, I really hope Mr. and Mrs. Birdsong turned off the show by now. Yeah, I mean, yes. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about that because, like, on our last show, like, I went to a bad place when you told me it was Birdsong, Verlander, and Roop pitching. You did. And I was like, that doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good, you know, because, like, I know, like, I kind of saw where Hayden was going, and I knew what Verlander was doing, and, you know. But then I realized that, like, and I kind of just lumped Roop in there because he's the rookie guy. But then as I was thinking about it, that was mean. Like, I should have had more faith that the Giants were going to go 1-2 on this series. I really felt like it was going to be a sweep. I should have had more faith in Landon. I'm sorry.
You should have, because he has been the rock over the last few months. And he has been the guy that just has been very consistent. And he was more than consistent. He had 5 shutout innings. Just really, really great outing by Landon Roop when they really needed it because the bullpen got used on Monday. And so and then the offense decided that they were actually going to score some runs. And I want to say maybe part of that was that Rafeal Devers got his first start at first base.
Wait, what?
And then Wilmer got to DH. And Wilmer ended up hitting a 3-run home run to provide some cushion. And the game was just a joy to watch. I mean, we were putting guys on and driving them in, and it was all really, really great.
Did you talk about Casey Schmidt's monster home run?
No, but we should, because Casey Schmidt, I should just add him into that list of what if he gets hot.
Well, okay, you know what? I like that. I like that a little bit better because, I don't know, I like it when the unexpected happens.
Yeah. Well, then you could be averaging 9 runs per game like we have the last 2 games.
Exactly. I still think that it'll be Devers and a little bit of Schmidt. That's what you're going to get, Matthew. Like, you can't go to the sandwich bar and put all of the condiments on your sandwich, Matthew. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. You get a lot of mayo and a little bit of Dijon.
I don't know, the Subway guy, man. He'll slop anything you want on there.
Because they're monsters over there. They'll just do whatever you want. Okay, the customer is not always right, is what I'm saying, Matthew. So let's okay. So you need a lot of Devers and a little bit of Schmidt, and I think that would be enough. But my point is, like, that Saturday's game was it came out of nowhere for me. It was so unexpected and it was such a relief. And it was just like, I literally texted to you 9-run advantage. What I didn't tell you is I was running around my house yelling that out loud. 9-run advantage. Like, I just didn't know what to do.
I don't think they knew what to do either. Like, do we put a position player out in the mound? Like, it's like they were all everybody they were all consulting the rule books. Like, what do we do?
They needed one more run.
One more run. Yeah. But I'm sure they looked it up because they didn't know.
Yeah, they wanted to. I bet you they really did. Yeah. They really wanted to after what had happened on Monday. I mean, it was crazy. Like, I don't know. And I think we've seen that a few times from this team where it's kind of like night and day. Like, they play absolutely atrocious baseball, and then the next day they come out and they play a great game. And it's like, will the real San Francisco Giants please stand up? And the thing is, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe they do need a poker up their butt every day. You know, maybe Bob needs to be more fire and brimstone. Maybe that's how these guys are motivated. Don't motivate me that way. I will punch you in the face, and I will happily accept your firing if you yell at me like that. but some guys they need it. So I don't know. All
right. Well, let's before we move on to game 3, I do want to talk about Devers playing first base because that's kind of a big deal.
It is a very big deal.
First of all, he hadn't done it. Obviously, the how he told the Red Sox he wasn't going to do it, and he'd never done it professionally until this game. And I think it was pretty funny though that on the one play that he got that was kind of hit at him was a pop up, and then Casey Schmidt stole it away.
He did not. That was Casey's ball. It was Casey's ball all the way. But Devers was mad. He was.
Devers wanted to make that play.
He wanted to make that play. He wanted to make that play. I will say this. There were very few plays to first base that day. It seemed very strange to me. I was like...
And he only had 4 putouts.
Yeah, I was like, what? Nothing happened. I guess if
so, there must have been a lot of fly balls and strikeouts
Yeah,
that
it wasn't
day.
Logan Webb pitching, right? So, but... I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny. I also thought that... Though that one play, it was it wasn't a sure thing. It was sort of go to second base and get the easy out. But then, I don't know, Schmidt, that was something, I can't remember exactly what happened, but Schmidt had to kind of make a weird, awkward throw to Devers to get the guy at first to end the inning. And it was kind of a sneak attack. It was a sneak attack throw. And that was his first ever put out at first. And I was like, well, hey, he made it. He made the play. So, no, this is a huge deal. I mean, I love it just because it's suck it, Red Sox fans. Although they don't, they're fine. No, they're mad, remember, because they want to hate their GM. They want to hate their GM, and then they went on a 10-game winning streak, and now everybody's talking about how they won the trade. I'm like, you only won the trade if Kyle Harrison and Jordan Hicks are dominating for you. I believe neither of those guys has played for you yet. So, no, you didn't win the trade.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We'll see. Too early.
Right.
All right. Well, game 3.
Yeah, we got to talk about game 3, Matthew.
We do because Justin Verlander, I got so excited when he first of all, 4 2/3 innings pitched. 4 2/3 innings pitched. He's got runners on first and third with 2 outs.
Yeah.
And you and I texted at each other at the same exact time. Mm-hmm. And I said, he's got to get this guy out because if he doesn't, then Melvin's got to pull him.
Yeah,
right?
that's not.
And you said something very different.
I said something very different. I will read it to you word for word. Hold, please. Oh, yeah, here it goes. If these idiots let him pitch to the next batter after Baldwin, I'm going to burn everything down.
And then I responded, you and I just said the same thing.
We did.
Except you said
the
it
same
in Benway.
thing. But it was also not the same thing. I mean, I was because I know that he hasn't had a win yet. And I could see there's a side of me that sees them giving him the Justin Verlander treatment. He was at 95 pitches. What if he walks this guy or he gets a hit or whatever? I could see them giving him another batter. I do want to say I don't think they would have. I think Melvin would have pulled him. I really do believe that. But there was a part of me that wasn't sure. Right? Because I do want to say this. Hayden Birdsong needed to go down. But Hayden, on the whole, has had a better season than Justin Verlander. And look where he is, and look where Justin Verlander is. You can't tell me that that's because Justin Verlander, of what Justin Verlander did in 19 seasons when he wasn't a San Francisco Giant. That's why he's still out there. And that pisses me off.
Well, the other part of this is that Justin Verlander had allowed only 1 hit in his outing today. And so I feel like that's got to be one of the ugliest 1-hit outings you'll probably ever see. It felt like he was on the ropes every inning. And, his 5 walks and his 1 hit by pitch. He did have 3 strikeouts. So especially at the end there, he was able to get that crucial one at the end.
Critical.
And so that's a little bit better than the previous outing where he had 0 strikeouts and ultimately 0 runs in 5 innings. So you got to hand it to the guy. But boy, that was not a smooth outing.
No, it was not.
For sure.
And also, you got to get 5 more wins and only 5 more wins, you a-hole. So get it done. I don't care if you got to throw 200 pitches of no-hit ball. Get it done.
You said 6 seems high after you predicted 6.
I did, and I was mad at myself for giving him 6, and I'm still mad at myself. It looks like 4 right now. It looks like 4.
Maybe he'll go on a little run. Maybe if Devers keeps hitting home runs in his starts, then he'll win 4 more.
True. That is true.
I do want to talk a little bit about that first home run.
Okay.
So they threw a stat up on there that it was the lowest pitch to be hit, a second lowest pitch to be hit for a home run all season.
Wow.
And
So it was not a bad pitch. I mean, it was a bad pitch because it sounds like it was not a hittable pitch.
It was low, and it was like in front of the plate, and he just reached out there and with one hand, Ben, just launched it into the seats. Like there was one hand on the bat as he was following through.
Yeah.
And it was like, and he hit it, and I was watching this, and I'm like, oh, he got under it. Like it's a fly ball to right. And then it kept going and going, and then all of a sudden it's in the stands. And I think even Devers thought that it wasn't quite. He knew he didn't get all of it,
right,
and wasn't sure. And then he's watching it and is like, oh, maybe I should start running. And then all of a sudden it's in the stands. Like one of the most impressive home runs I think I've ever seen that didn't go 500 feet.
Right. This was not the Ruthian blast that Casey Schmidt hit on Saturday.
No.
Well, I mean, that's because he's Rafeal Devers, Matthew. And when he does, he hits the ball real hard. So even when he doesn't get it all, he's still hitting it pretty hard. And you get a little help from the park and all that sort of stuff. And yeah. But the thing is, I thought his swings on Saturday were really good. And this was kind of the first swings I think we saw during the first week. He came over healthy, and then it's pretty clear to me that he hurt his hamstring and then his back in pretty quick succession. The back looks healthy. It's clear the groin is not healthy. And honestly, there are times where that man has been running and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Would you just stop and get tagged out, please? For the love of everything? Because it freaks me out. But it looks like the back is healthy. And I think that had been holding back his swing. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he looks like a monster when he swings.
He does.
And, but you and I were discussing before we went on the air that we were wondering, is there any stat that you could find where a guy hit 2 home runs and then in his next at bat struck out on a foul bunt attempt?
I'm going to guess that was the first time we ever saw that in baseball.
That might be. I think that's Major League history right there. I think we saw that. I don't think you'd ever see that again.
That sort of thing is really hard to search for on the tools that we have available to us, Matthew. Just where you got to call up the bureau.
Yeah, or ask Sarah Lang.
Well, and she's got connections now. She has underlings at the bureau too. Mm-hmm. Sarah Lang doesn't have to do the work anymore, right? She supervises now. She's a supervisor. I have to think that was the first one. I don't know. I was listening to the radio when it happened, and I was very confounded by what they were talking about. So then I went and immediately watched it on video because I was waiting for the comic book store to open. It only opens at noon, and I was there at 11:45, as you do. Typical Wednesday morning activity, right? That's what everybody's Wednesday morning.
You were looking for a new 20-sided die, I assume?
I was actually looking for an expansion set to a game that we're going to give as a gift. Okay. Folks, I do want to tell you I am going to run out of money eventually, and I do have to get a job. So, it's not like I'm that kind of guy. Okay.
Yeah, the fun employed part.
It's coming to an end.
Fun.
But I have been living that lifestyle, and I have to say, if you have an opportunity to do it, do it. But anyway, point is, I was in the car waiting for the store to open, so I was bouncing back and forth between the between the broadcast on my phone and the radio on my radio, and I was like, "What just happened?" And I got to tell you, Rizzo and Santangelo and Javi and Flem, nobody quite understood what was going on there. It was clear that Devers did not know how many strikes there were.
Yes, that was the final verdict, was that he did not know the count.
But why if you thought the count was less than 2 strikes, why did you need to throw your bat out there at all? How would trying to bunt at that ball be better than just letting it go by? It would be worse, in fact, because maybe it gets called as a ball, If you bunt at it, it's definitely going to be a strike, or you're going to have to run. And what did I just say that you shouldn't do? Right. So I just didn't understand that at all. Like,
why are you bunting at any
right,
pitch?
exactly. Like, who cares what the count? Like, I get it. Who cares what the count is? Like somebody should tell him that he's Rafeal Devers, and he should just swing the bat like it's like a 3-0 count, or a 3-1 count. And that's what he should do at a pitch.
Ben, we are way over time for a second.
Because I really don't want to talk about this next subject. I don't.
Okay. I'm gonna bring Bob in. Bob, what time is it?
It's time for a lightning round.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. I'm down. Yeah,
okay.
Here we go.
All right. Just one answer real quick. Gut reaction, Ben. Are the Giants buyers or sellers in the next
They're
week?
buyers.
Agreed. If you had to choose between the following players who are on their last year of their contract to be included in a trade, who would it be amongst the following? Verlander.
Why did you put him on the list?
Because he's in the last year of his contract. Yaz, Tyler Rogers, Wilmer Flores, or Dominic Smith.
Wilmer Flores, because I'm a mean little brother.
You are.
Yeah, I would love to see you cry. I would love to see you hurt like that. I would be sad, but I would be a little less sad because you would be sad.
Well, I think now that Devers is playing first base, I think Dominic Smith could be a trade.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody want to trade for Dominic? Matthew, you realize that
he has been playing pretty well, actually. He's played solid defense at first base. He's played pretty well. I mean, he's had a good season with the Giants when he's healthy.
Matthew, the man was playing AAA for the Yankees. Okay. You're just okay. This is the okay. No, nobody's getting nothing for that. Okay, whatever. Fine. Okay.
He'd be part of a trade. I'm not saying the trade piece, but he would be part of a trade.
Yeah. Okay. Instead of getting the Pepsi machine, they get Dom Smith. All right. Fine.
Okay. Here's another question for you. What more than 50-50 or less than 50-50 that Yaz gets traded?
Is it with the Red Sox?
With it, I don't care what team you choose.
I think they could make another deal with the Red Sox and send Yaz there. Other than that, I think it's 50%? I think it's possible.
What are the odds? The odds?
I think it's less than 50% that Yaz gets traded.
Less. Okay.
I think it's less than 50% that anybody wants him. I think fans, including you, totally overvalues the trade value of every player. I think you all think these guys are way more value than they actually are. Like, I just don't think people want Yaz. Like, maybe somebody does, but they don't, as a throw-in, as an afterthought. Dom, not even.
Okay. All right. Potential needs, and I'm using this. There was an article by Grant Brisbee in The Athletic, so I'll give him full credit. He had a list of positional needs, and they were as follows: backup catcher, starting pitcher, outfielder, second base / infield, guy who can hit, and then left-handed reliever. Those are, and if you know Grant Brisbee, guy who can hit is totally in his. That's who he is. That's how he writes.
That's the obvious answer. Light round. Like, can I give a lightning round answer? It's guy who can hit. Like, I don't care.
Okay, so it doesn't matter where he plays.
Okay, he could be a starting pitcher for all I care. Like, a guy who can hit.
Bring back Bumgarner.
Sure.
And just have him hit.
Yeah, I don't even want him to pitch.
I agree. I think left-handed reliever. I think Matt Gage and especially Lucchesi has done an excellent job replacing Miller. So I don't know if they need to go down that left-handed reliever route.
No, I don't think they do either. And if Miller is going to come back, which everybody said they thought he was going to, then I don't think you're in trouble here at all. Like, no.
Yeah.
And Gage almost got Birdsong out of that S show. He struck out the next two guys, and then it was just one hit, and that hit was kind of like...
He was one strike away from striking out the third guy.
Yeah, that was almost a really gutsy outing. So, like, so far, so good.
Would not surprise me, though, especially with Birdsong's demotion, that there is a starting pitcher brought in. I think that would probably be the most likely that would get brought in. I think
you would have two gentlemen in the Boston Red Sox organization who would both go like, what?
I agree. I'm no doubt. But with Birdsong's demotion, though, that changes things.
I don't know. I mean,
that,
so far, I think Buster Posey and his regime overvalues veteran pitchers and their effectiveness.
So they'll go out and get another veteran pitcher.
That's what I'm saying, and it won't be as good as saying bringing up Carson Whisenhunt or letting Seymour start or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're going to screw that up. So I think if they go get a starting pitcher, they're going to screw it up. So don't do it.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that answers our trade questions. Right. We can move on. Upcoming opponent, Ben, the New York Mets, who when I wrote the show notes, they were second in the National League East, but now are in first place by a half game over the Phillies in the National League East. So they are kind of vacillating between being in the wild card hunt and being first in their division. So it's important to win games against teams like the Mets.
And got to win the tiebreaker. Got to gain games on these guys.
Exactly. And so this is an important series. The pitching matchups are Holmes versus Webb in game 1, Peterson versus Ray in game 2, and then Senga versus TBD in game 3. And I got to think Carson Seymour?
Yeah, that is an interesting
maybe
question,
a bullpen
right?
game?
That is an interesting question. That's because Birdsong's not there. I would go with Seymour. Yeah. He's on the roster.
He was starting in AAA. Why not?
I'm sure a lot of people are yelling at their podcast screen right now because you all sit with your podcast screen on while you listen to the show, right?
Everyone does. Yes.
They're all yelling Whisenhunt, but that's not happening, folks.
Not yet. No, it's too early.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Yes, it is time for the booze.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Well, Bob, as I mentioned before, I am drinking a version of The Last Word. And the reason I brought this to the show is because very recently I realized that Luxardo, the brand that brings the cherries and the Maraschino Liqueur, makes a green herbal liqueur called Del Santo Herbal Liqueur. And it is, by all accounts, a direct competitor with green chartreuse. It does not quite have the punch that green chartreuse has because it's only 80 proof, and green chartreuse I think is like 110 or something ridiculous like that. And so it doesn't have the bite. But I have both bottles, and I bought a Del Santo, and I taste tested them, and the herbalness though is very similar. It does not have the bite of the green chartreuse. So in my last word, what I did is I had 1 ounce of a high proof gin. In my case, it was a 94 proof. I used I don't remember. Anyway, it was a 94 proof gin. I remember that. And then it was 3/4 ounces of Maraschino Liqueur, 3/4 ounces of the Luxardo Del Santo Herbal Liqueur, and 3/4 ounces of lime juice. You take all those and you shake it all up into a cocktail shaker, and then you double strain it into a chilled coupe glass, and then you're going to garnish it with a Luxardo cherry. I will say, if you've got Navy strength gin, because you definitely want to provide some punch that the Luxardo Del Santo doesn't provide, then you would do the 3/4 ounces for each. But if you just have a high proof that's under 100 proof but more than 80, then you're going to do 1 ounce. You're going to up it a little bit. But it is a very, very good facsimile of The Last Word with the green chartreuse, and it is lovely, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's what I'm drinking, Bob, The Last Word Del Santo version.
That's a tasty cocktail.
Yes, it is really good. One of my favorite cocktails of all time, and I'm very excited to have something that I can put in there besides the green chartreuse.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you. Today, Bob, I'm drinking the Meow, 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 Knock, 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 named by my cat, Posey. And, it's too faint for you to hear, but literally, Bob, she's knocking on the door right now. And to come back in after she was knocking on the door when I named this cocktail at the beginning of the show. To get out. Because that's the kind of lady she is. And what's in a meow, 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 knock, knock, knock? Well, it has 1.5 ounces of rye whiskey, 1/2 ounce of mezcal, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and that's it. You put all of that into a mixing glass with ice. You stir that until it is to your desired dilution. You strain that into a rocks glass with a single large chunk of ice. You take an orange peel and you express that over the cocktail. You drop the orange peel into the glass, and then you add a cocktail pick with 3 brandied cherries on top. And yes, it's an old-fashioned. And why did I pick this cocktail? Well, I was going to try to pick a cocktail to represent the Giant season, so I wanted something that was like a little good and a little bad. Like, not bad, but like, spicy or punchy. And then I kind of lost track of what I was doing, and I picked 2 things that were punchy. The rye whiskey and the mezcal. So, I don't know that 1/4 ounce of simple syrup is enough, folks. You might want to...
No, it is not.
You might want to up that. You might want to up that. You also might want to use a bitters that's a little less savory and a little bit more sweet profile. Like maybe a Peychaud's in this particular recipe if you want to go with it. That being said, don't sleep on this combo. Rye and mezcal, like 2 wrongs make a right, is what I'm saying. And that's what I'm drinking today, Bob. The meow, 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 knock, knock, knock.
One of the greatest names to a cocktail ever.
I agreed.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It is, Bob. I should have Posey name all of my cocktails.
Yes, it might be a very similar names to each
That's
one.
right. That's right. That is true. That is true. Sometimes sometimes she says meow. So yeah, that could be another name for a cocktail. That's coming next week. Anyway, and that's a wrap, folks. Thank goodness. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back on Monday after the Giants have played the stupid Mets. If you can't wait that long to get your fix, feel free to reach out to us on social medias. You can find us in all of the places where you can find Giant cocktails. If you can't find Giant cocktails, we're not there. Although I think there are a few places that we have abandoned. But our username is probably still there. I'm looking at you, Mastodon. You can also find us on YouTube, where you can like and subscribe and comment, and also watch our logo for 45 minutes, sometimes 55 minutes. Matthew, last time our show was a little over 55 minutes long, and your cocktail recipe was roughly 5% of the total length of the episode, and I'm not kidding. And if our show had been normal length, it would have been close to 7 or 8%.
It was a really good syrup, though, so you
Yeah,
really
I guess. I don't know. Like, I didn't even listen or read I just, whatever. Folks, but if you're interested
Don't
in
sleep on the toasted coconut, folks. Okay, go make it.
Yeah, if you're really into a toasted coconut syrup, go listen to last week's episode, or just go to the show notes and get the recipe. Maybe not listen to the episode, because it was extra long, because of Matt's recipe. Sorry, Matthew, excuse me. Anyway, Matthew, it was great talking San Francisco Giants with you. Until next time, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Ben. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Meow, meow, meow.
Thank you for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. Until next time, bottoms up.
Ben, today is Sunday, July 23rd, as we record this. Ben, today is Wednesday, July 23rd, as we record this podcast. Someday we'll get the days.
Matthew, we only record on 2 different days. Like, we never record on Thursday. Like, it's amazing. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's just easy to get confused. Dates are hard for some people, whatever. But, like, sometimes,
So
man,
hard for
I
me.
just don't understand.
So hard for me.
Like, how is this so hard for you?
All right. That's the part I'm going to send to the end. I'm going to start over again.
Okay.
Today is Thursday.
Okay, wait. Take a deep breath. I want you to hold the word Wednesday in your mind. Okay? Okay? And then here we go.
right.
Here we go.
All right.
Take 17. Action.